Hey students, this is a quick read-along video reviewing what you need to do to complete this activity, okay? This is the transcript and audio of NPR radio show Tell Me More. Below is an edpuzzle.com video of a radio show segment. The host, Michelle Martin, talks with guest Clarence Lucene about a topic you should be very familiar with. And here's the agenda. These are the things you must do to complete this task and receive a strong grade. Number one, read along to the interview using the edpuzzle.com video. If you look there towards the bottom, you'll see a link to the edpuzzle.com video, okay? The video will stop a number of times and ask you questions about what you are listening to and reading. Answer these questions on loose leaf or in your ELA notebook. Number three, open the Google form, close reading questions. Type your answers from your loose leaf or your notebook here, okay? And here's a list of the videos. There's a number of videos down there, okay? The first video is the edpuzzle.com video of the interview, okay? This video has the questions you answer onto loose leaf. So while you're watching this first video, it's gonna periodically pause and there will be a question. Before you continue, you should look at that question, okay? And write that question down. Okay, the second video is a YouTube video of the interview without the questions. Okay, so this is just a link to the YouTube video that doesn't have the questions in it. It's just a video going straight through. The third video is a video on how to slow down fast talking videos. Okay, some of these videos, they're talking quite fast. In this video, I believe they are actually talking too fast. There's a reason why they may be talking fast. I talk about that in that video. But if you want to watch a video on how to slow down fast talking videos, you can use that third video, slowing down fast talkers, in these read along videos, okay? Then after the close reading questions, there's a fourth video, and it's not up there in this video because I have to post it. It's going to be this video, okay? Now what I want to do is look at the close reading questions, and I'm going to read them, all right? So maybe you've already watched the Edpuzzle transcript, okay? The Edpuzzle video on the transcript of the NPR show, and now you just kind of want to have a video that you can easily review and watch while you answer these questions, okay? And that one is, and that's, so I'm going to read these questions right now. Close reading question, NPR's radio show interview. Okay, so of course the first thing you need to do is enter in what is your name. Make sure you put your first and last name. Okay. Next, make an inference. Based on the video's introduction, read by Mr. M, do you think the host and guest will be talking about how well the movie Lincoln portrayed Elizabeth Keckley, or how poorly the movie portrayed Keckley? Okay, so you need to make an inference, make a prediction about how you think they'll discuss the portrayal of Elizabeth Keckley in this interview based on that introduction. Okay, the next one, purpose of the interview. From host Michelle Martin's introduction, what will her and guest Clarence Lucene be talking about? Okay, so look at that. All right, read that introduction. Now we're talking about the one after Mr. M's, Michelle Martin's introduction. What will her and her guest, Clarence Lucene, be talking about? From your own reading of Behind the Scenes, what do you know of Elizabeth Keckley's role in the Lincoln's White House? Was it that of a servant or something else? Make sure you back up your opinion with details and proof from your research. So you've been reading this book, excerpts from this book Behind the Scenes, for a number of weeks now. Okay, it's Keckley's memoirs of her time she spent in Lincoln's White House. Okay, so think about what you were reading. Was she a servant or something else? Make sure you back up your opinion with details and proof from your research. You can contribute to this discussion as well. All right. Okay, next we're going to look at a quote that we just heard from Lucene. Okay, that's exactly right. In fact, the most important corrective, I think, in terms of what the film portrays and what was reality, is that if you look at the film, she is basically seen as a servant. But she really was an independent businesswoman, and Mary Lincoln was her client. What does Lucene mean when he uses the word corrective? And how is it used in the context of his opinion? Okay, so what does this word corrective mean? Okay, in fact, the most important corrective, I think, in terms of what the film portrays. Okay, so think about what that word corrective means. What do you think it means from reading this, and how is it used in the context of his opinion? What does he mean by this word? How is he using it to communicate something, and what is he communicating? Do you believe that Keckley's success as a dressmaker played any role in her getting the job making dresses for Mary Lincoln in the Lincoln White House? So think about your readings from behind the scenes and about this interview you're now just listening to. Okay, do you believe that Keckley's success as a dressmaker played any role in her getting the job making dresses for Mary Lincoln in the Lincoln White House? For this next question, you need to kind of think about what you're listening to and what you're reading in historical context, okay? Why were all the Southern Congress members, congressmen and senators representing Southern states, leaving Washington? Why were these men leaving Washington? What was going on? Specifically, the Southern Congress members. Why were they leaving Washington? Next, you're going to describe Keckley's response to Jefferson Davis's job offer. Do you think that Keckley made the right response? Made the right decision? Make sure you include details backing up your answer, okay? So think about what you just read and just heard in the interview. Who was Jefferson Davis? He offered Keckley a job. Do you think what response, what decision did Keckley make, and do you think it was the right one? And make sure that you explain why you think her decision was right, or if you think it was the wrong one, why you think it was wrong. So maybe make sure you say who Jefferson Davis is, what decision Keckley made in response to his job offer. Do you think she was right or wrong? And make sure you back up your opinion about her decision with details. Was Elizabeth Keckley the only person trying to get a job making dresses in the Lincoln White House? How do you know? Okay, so think about what you just heard. Think about what you know about Mary Lincoln and the White House. And do you believe that Elizabeth Keckley was the only person trying to get a job making dresses in the Lincoln White House? What tragedies does Lusain describe that seem to bond Keckley and Mary Lincoln close together? Make sure to include details from this interview and from your reading of Keckley's behind the scenes. Okay, so Keckley had her own personal tragedy, and then she had another tragedy in the White House. What was Keckley's personal tragedy from before she got to the White House? What tragedy did she experience that she shared with Miss Lincoln? And what do you think? Do you think that they kind of bonded Keckley and Mary Lincoln close together? So make sure to detail and describe each of those tragedies. Next, what is the Contraband Association? Okay, so they were just discussing, something where they referred to the Contraband Association. Who organized the Contraband Association? Okay, who was the person that created and organized it? Who was the founder of it? Okay, what was the purpose of the Contraband Association? So make sure you clearly identify what the Contraband Association is. Who organized the Contraband Association? And then what was the purpose of the Contraband Association? What did they do? What was their mission? Okay. Next, what was the scheme concocted by Keckley and Mary Lincoln? Okay, so the host and the guest, the guest was describing to the host of the radio show a scheme concocted by Keckley and Mary Lincoln. Why did they concoct this scheme? What does this word concoct mean? Okay, how are they using it? Okay. Next, why did Keckley and Mary Lincoln have a falling out? Okay, so the guest describes to the host and the listeners that Keckley and Mary Lincoln had a falling out. What caused this falling out? Okay, and this is a really good time to include details describing that falling out and why there was a falling out. Okay. And finally, what did Keckley do in her remaining days before passing away? Okay, so what did she do in her remaining days before she passed away? Did she hold any job other than a dressmaker? And then where did she spend her remaining days? Okay, so listen, this is a very, very involved. This is a very, very rigorous activity. It may just seem like a bunch of questions to answer, but it really shows close listening, close observation. This is not due till next week. Okay, so you can go ahead and you don't have to submit these answers right away. Don't try and rush through this. Okay, spend a week, listen to the video, listen to it again, go back to your readings of behind the scenes. There are, and I'll even repost those videos underneath this assignment where you can find them, okay, of read alongs to behind the scenes. So take your time with this, be very thoughtful about it, okay? So, you don't have to hurry up and try and submit this. You can, try your hardest and put in as much information backing up your opinions as you can, and take your time, okay? This isn't a race. All right, so good luck with this, and